Today we are going to be ranking every single anime I have watched so far in my 2.5-ish or so years of watching anime. Now, yeah, this video took a while to make, and like I was about to say, there's a lot to cover, as you can see by the scrolling list right now. So I'll let that list finish scrolling, and then let's get straight into this. Okay, so to start it off, we have Komi. Now, Komi honestly is a rom-com that a lot of people I feel like are really high on, but for me, it was solid, but wasn't really anything amazing. I'll put it B tier. And just a preface, I'm not going to be sorting things within tiers, so yeah, don't even bother looking at that. And hopefully, I don't have to move anything around later. Next up, we have Manan Biori. Manan Biori I liked a lot. It was a nice, comfy, wholesome slice of life about cute girls who live in the countryside. Um, Definitely liked it more than Komi. No, sorry, Komi fans. I'll do A tier. Okay, Plastic Memories. I honestly enjoyed it a lot, and even though it was pretty obvious from the start what the ending was going to be, it still hit me. Um, Definitely A tier, but I'll see. It could definitely be low S tier. We'll see if my opinion changes. Bubble. I watched Bubble like what, 2 months ago or so. It was a solid movie, but it honestly wasn't anything too crazy. I think I'm gonna put it C tier for now, but it honestly could be B tier as well. Promise Neverland. I only watched season 1, which, from what I'm aware of, is the only season that actually exists. And it was one of my very first things I watched, so because of that, I kind of have, I feel like, a negative bias towards it, because I don't really remember much of it. So I kind of want to put it here, but just because I know it was really good, I will give it an A tier. Mushoku Tensei. What else is there to say? It's amazing. It's easily S tier. Only reason I'm not putting it up here is because this is basically going to be reserved for my absolute favorites. And while Mushoku Tensei was amazing, it's not one of my absolute favorites. I'm sorry. So, Chainsaw Man. This one is going to be hard to rate yet. And I'm so sorry that at the time of recording this, I'm putting it down here, because I've only seen one episode yet, and I cannot judge a show off one episode. I mean, off the one episode, it probably was like 8 or S tier, but that's one episode. There's 11 more episodes I have to watch yet. So for now, it's going down there. I'm so sorry. I can do another tier list later on. Okay, for Jose, I absolutely loved this movie so much. Like, I legitimately want to put it up here, but I feel like I don't know. Like, I absolutely loved this movie so much. You know what? Screw it. I'm gonna put it up there. In terms of an overall rating, it's probably here. But in terms of movie ratings, it's definitely up here. So okay, we'll put it S here. ReZero, honestly, really good. I think it definitely hurt me a bit though, in the fact that I took a year break in between the seasons. But overall, I would say probably A tier. It's definitely not one of my favorites, but still really, really good. Girls Last Tour. Now, this is a show I actually watched because my sister made me watch it with her. Okay, not made me, but, you know, wanted me to. And it actually was really good. Definitely a solid A tier. Slow Loop. Another one of my comfort shows about cute girls who go fishing. Probably same thing. Probably A tier. I honestly enjoyed it a lot. And it's just my type of show, if you can't tell. Then we have Dragon Maid. Honestly, definitely a really just good, funny slice of life about dragon girls, and nothing weird about it at all. I'll probably put it S tier. I do enjoy Dragon Maid a lot. Fullmetal Alchemist Brotherhood. Now, while I wouldn't say it's something that's one of my favorites, it arguably is one of the best anime ever made, so I gotta give it at least an S tier, just because if not, I'm gonna get a lot of haters in the comments. The Boy and the Beast. This is a movie I watched with someone earlier this year, I think, and I'm so sorry, but I honestly didn't care for it that much. I'm gonna put it down here. I'm sure a lot of people do like it, and I think it does have a high rating. I just didn't care for it much. I just don't think, unfortunately, it's really my type of thing. Plus, when I was watching it, the condition I was watching it in was not great either. And I just mean, like, I was watching it on my iPad with, like, I think AirPods that were basically dying on me every 15 minutes, so that I don't think helped either. Watamote. On the surface, it seemed like something I would like a lot. It's just a slice of life about a girl who has a ton of anxiety and is kind of lonely. And, you know, just gets into a bunch of really bad situations. But honestly, it was kind of eh. I'm probably going to give it a C tier if I'm being completely honest. It wasn't bad, but it wasn't really good either. It was kind of just eh. It was okay. Konosuba. This is actually the first anime I ever watched. And a lot of people usually have good bias towards anime they first watch, but I feel like if anything, I have negative bias because when I start forgetting things, it makes it hard to remember, what I loved about it. So I do think it was probably A tier, although I forget almost everything that happened in it because it's been over 2 years. Another pretty solid horror anime. I don't think there's much to say. It's definitely A tier. I thought it was pretty good. I mean, it's nothing that's gonna blow you away, but it's definitely pretty good. Rent a Girlfriend. Now, if we're looking at this objectively, it's probably like down here. But for some reason, I cannot stop watching this show, and if I'm gonna be biased, I'm putting it up here. Realistically, it's probably down here, but I don't know why. I just get attached to this show for some reason and can't stop watching it. And for some reason, the end of season 2 was actually really good, in my opinion. Hate me all you want, but like the last 3 episodes were actually really solid, in my opinion. Vivi. I'm so glad I checked this out. It aired like spring of 2021, and oh my god, it was amazing. It's easily S tier, like no doubt about it. It's just a 13 episode anime original, and oh my god, they blew it away with it. It was so good. Sword Art Online. I don't know why I have it on here. I only watched season 1 and then I dropped it. But yeah, it's going D tier. It would go lower, but I feel too lazy to make another tier for it. Danmachi. Danmachi overall is pretty solid, although it's not really something that I'm like super attached to. It probably would reside with Komi. Komi finally has a friend. Senko-san, honestly, I'm probably putting it in the same area. Senko was pretty good, but it didn't have much going for it. It was just a solid slice of life about a guy who gets pampered by a fox girl. That's really all there is to it. B&A, honestly, I think we're putting a lot of things in B tier now because I'd put B&A in B tier too. This is legitimately the second anime I watched after Konosuba. Only reason why, because someone I knew on Discord at the time was addicted to B&A. So I mean, when I first watched anime, I obviously loved it. But looking back now with all the other shows I've seen, yeah, it's probably B tier. It's solid, but it's nothing that's gonna like I've said for everything else, nothing that's gonna blow you away. Now we have Higehiro, which looking at it based on the title, it looks like a complete mess. But when you actually watch it, it's actually pretty good. Like I actually enjoyed it a lot. I'd give it an A tier. Demon Slayer. Where do I put this? Like, because it honestly, obviously, production-wise is amazing. But I do agree with a lot of people when I say the story and stuff, and like, it's not bad, but it's not great. Like, I'm kind of torn between putting it S or A tier. I think, honestly, I'm gonna give it A tier, but it's like, it's high A tier. So don't complain. It's like high A tier. It's just, Demon Slayer, like, it's good. It's just not something I got, like, super invested in or anything. But it's still good. Like, it's high A tier. Even though I'm not sorting it, it would be high A tier. Then we have Nizukoi. Nizukoi was a more recent one for me. I think I watched it in September-ish or so. No, I think I started in August and it went into September. It was pretty good. I think I would give it an A as well. I'm noticing I'm giving a lot of things an A, but I enjoy Nizukoi a lot too. It just sucks that I didn't adapt the full thing because I really wanted to see the end of it. Do It Yourself. Now, this is currently airing, but I have been keeping up with it. As of the day I'm recording this, episode 6 dropped, although I have to watch that yet, but I've watched 5 episodes so far, and I will judge it off those 5 episodes. And from what I've seen, it's going to be another one of my A tiers. It's a pretty good, it's kind of like Slow Loop for me, in my opinion. It's a nice, comfy show, but it's nothing like that's absolutely amazing, but it's still really good, especially for, like, this genre. Then we have Haganai. English name I forget. Something about not having friends. It's kind of like Higehiro, where on the surface and based off the title, it just looks like kind of just a messy harem show. And to be honest, especially in season 1, there are a lot of scenes and moments that are kind of just questionable. But I think what really carried it is it's honestly really entertaining and really funny. Another thing I'd probably give an A tier, to be honest. It's another thing I actually really enjoyed a lot. It's one of those that on the surface looks like a mess, but when you actually give it a try, it's actually really enjoyable. Then we come to Clanad, whatever, however you want to say it. And this is why a certain tier exists, because this goes up here. This might need to be a show I might need to make a whole video about. But Clanad is literally one of my favorite anime ever. Out of this, list. Arguably the best anime I've ever seen, to be honest, possibly. I know a lot of people would like to complain about it, and especially complain about season 1 being slow and all that. I don't know. This is just Clannad just perfection to me, and especially once you get to After Story, I lost count of how many times that show made me cry, dude. Like, Clannad might need out an entire video dedicated to it because it is just a masterpiece, and that's all I'm gonna say about it now because I'm already dragging this out. It's another hard one because it's another one I watched like 2 years ago, so my memories of it are kind of like they're kind of fading. But I think it's another one I'm going to throw in a huge mess of A tier. Although I do feel like it's something that if I rewatched or maybe remembered it, it probably could be a bit higher, maybe even low S tier. I just, from my limited memories of it, I'm putting an A tier. None of Your Name. This is a hard one. I watched this about 2 months ago as well. It was a good movie. But honestly, I haven't watched a lot of anime movies yet, but I did enjoy Jose better. I think it's hard. It's it's kind of like Demon Slayer. I'm kind of between A and S for it. Because it definitely deserves S tier, I feel like. But if I'm doing this biased, like in terms of my bias, it's probably A tier, and I'm gonna be biased. Quite honestly, probably another one I'm putting up here. It definitely is not as good as Clannad, but it's another one that I just absolutely fell in love with, and I really wish it got a second season. But I've also heard the light novel ending is absolute garbage, which sucks because I love the series so much. I haven't read it though. I just mean like the 24 episode series. Again, I'm not gonna say much because this is just meant to be a quick tier list video, but it's another one of my favorite shows. I loved it so much. We're gonna be getting all of them in a row. This is another one, and honestly, I'm putting this in the front, even though I said I'm not sorting them. This has to be in the front because if you know me, then you know Eurocamp is arguably my favorite anime of all time currently. Again, this is another anime I might need to make a video about eventually, but it's just another one of those. It's just perfection for me. It's just about cute girls who go camping. That's literally the entire premise. But I don't know why. It's just perfection. Like, the whole show is. I have nothing else to say about it. Like, if it's another show I'll probably need to make a video about. Because if you know me, you know how much I absolutely love this show. I'm going to put it C tier. Just in this case of, like, it's kind of okay. In terms of obviously it could be lower, but I mean, I definitely, as big of a mess of that Domestic Girlfriend was, I definitely probably was entertained by Domestic Girlfriend more than Nee's anime, and quite honestly, probably even Nee's anime. But I'll give it C tier because you really just cannot put it that high. Attack on Titan. No, Attack on Titan is something I think I do have on my favorites list, although I don't know. I feel like isn't really that creative. But I mean, Attack on Titan is a masterpiece. I have definitely a lot I can argue about it because I know a lot of people say it's overrated. Oh, blah, 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 blah. My personal opinion, I think, is just that Attack on Titan has been around for so long now that I think people are just sick of Attack on Titan taking the spotlight year after year after year. And that's at least my theory as to why everyone hates on it. But honestly, when you actually look at it, it is a really good show. It's deserving of S tier, no doubt. I thought I would love a lot, but quite honestly, it was like B tier for me. It was a solid, rom-com, slice of life, whatever you want to call it. But it just wasn't really something I got super, super invested in. It was kind of probably like the same level as Comey for me. I thought I'd like it a lot more, but Then we have Fruits Basket. Now, Fruits Basket's a hard one because there was a pretty clear, big split between seasons 1 and 2 and season 3 for me. Season 3, honestly, would probably be like high S tier or even at low. No, probably not low S plus. Probably high S. But season 1 and 2 is probably like low A, high B. So I'm kind of at a loss where to put it. I think overall I'm going to give it an A tier. But if you're talking about season 3, then it's S tier. If you're talking about season 1 and 2, it's probably low A, high B tier for me. That's just at least how I see it. Then we get Aramanga Sensei, which is basically just the other Domestic Girlfriend. Where it was okay, maybe entertaining at times, but unfortunately, you just really can't put it any higher than C tier. Then we have the Monogatari series. Yes, I tried to just say that. I think I said that correctly. Fancy Japanese pronunciation there. Overall, I'm giving it an S tier. It's it's really interesting. It's a show I could honestly probably even make a video about too, just because there's a lot to say about it. Um, it's just probably the most unique anime I have watched out of everything on this list. It has just a vibe and style that just cannot be matched by anything else, and I think that's really what just makes it stand out to me. It's a show that is literally legitimately like 95% dialogue, and that sounds boring as hell on paper, but when you actually watch it, like, somehow you actually stay engaged throughout the whole thing. At least I did, and quite honestly, I think it's deserving. And also, why are there so many of those in the A tier? That'll be fixed. Haruhi next, and I'm gonna get a lot of hate for this, but I have one disclaimer: is that I still have yet to watch the movie for Haruhi, or if I was, let me put this in my Japanese accent, Haruhi. uh, so this is probably gonna be biased because I actually wasn't really that big of a fan of the main series. It legitimately was like a C tier show for me, and I'm so sorry to say that, but it legitimately was. Um, but I have yet to watch the movie, and I do feel like the movie probably will bump it up to B or A tier. Um, but I honestly, what's really been stopping me from watching the movie is the fact that it's a 3 hour long movie, and I really don't feel like committing 3 hours to my life to one piece of media. So sorry, not sorry. Although this one's kind of hard because this is another one I feel like I'd probably put between A and S tier. Um, I do feel like the second season has been a bit slower than the first season. Like, I feel like the beginning of the first season got off to like a bang, and since then it's kind of slowed down in a more slice of life show. So I think for that reason I'm going to give it A tier, although I do feel like if it would pick back up again, it could be S tier. And that's coming from the person who loves slice of life shows. But I feel like when you just have a show in the style of Spy Family, I definitely preferred it when it was a bit faster. Like, if I want to watch a slow cute slice of life show, I'll go watch like a rom-com or like a cute girl slice of life show. Like, sorry. And then we have Slime 300. I've been killing slimes for 300 years, maxed out my level show, which I feel like seems really cute and wholesome, but it was honestly another show I'd put like down here. Probably honestly would be like top of the C tier, but I don't know. It's really wholesome and really cute, but it's just not a show that I feel like really is much more than that. It's an episodic show as well, so it really doesn't have a story to it, which for some reason to me, I feel like I definitely seem to get more into stories with shows with stories. Oh my god. And it just doesn't really have a story, unfortunately. But obviously, you can argue that about other things too. I don't know why that's the first time I'm mentioning it. Nonetheless, it just was a show that I enjoyed, but I couldn't really get invested in. So it was kind of like okay, maybe good at best for me. This is interesting because it's got some of my favorite characters of all time in it, aka Shui and Shiro. But at the same time, from what I can remember, the show, it was probably like low A tier. So that's where I'm going to put it. Again, I'm not sorting tiers by things, so this does not mean it's low A tier, but if I was sorting it, it probably would be like low A tier. Then we have Dress Up Darling, which I'm honestly putting up here. I absolutely loved Dress Up Darling. It was so good. I'm so hyped it's getting a sequel, although I still don't think it's been confirmed it's a season 2, right? I think they just confirmed a sequel of some sort. But it was really good, and no, it's not because of certain scenes. I just legitimately loved the thing as a whole. It was just a good romance, like such a good rom-com, and you definitely need to check it out if you haven't yet. Probably one of the better animes of this year, if I'm being completely honest, but definitely not my favorite because you probably know what that is, and that's coming. If I'm being completely honest, I don't remember almost anything from this show, and I don't even know why I watched it. It's definitely, I don't know why I dropped it D tier. I was gonna put it C tier. I legitimately don't remember almost anything from this show, if I'm being completely honest with you. Like, I legit don't. It was just kind of I have no words for it. I'm sorry. It's okay. Then we have Aquatope. Aquatope's actually, in my opinion, really underrated. And by that, I just mean, like, I don't think it really got enough attention. It was a show that aired, I believe, summer 2021. And I decided to watch it. And, yeah, I'd probably give it A tier. Although it could even be, like, it would probably be high A tier. It's got, honestly, like, movie-level quality visuals, especially in the beginning. I didn't notice it as much later on, but it could have just been because I got adjusted to the visuals. But it's weird, too, because it's got, like, a split about halfway through the series, and it feels like the first half of the series and the second half of the series are kind of different. Like, they don't really connect that much. But overall, it's a really nice story, and I don't know why, but I feel like I just really do enjoy, like, that whole, like, ocean underwater type vibe, and you definitely get that from this show. It was just a really cute, wholesome show, to be honest. I don't know if I should say wholesome. I don't mean that like it's bad or anything, but no, like I wouldn't say the whole show was wholesome. Every moment was wholesome, but like legitimately, it's definitely worth checking out. I think it might be a bit slow at times, but it was pretty good. I definitely think it definitely didn't get enough attention last month. I gotta put it up here if I'm being honest. Overall, the 3 shows I put in S plus tier so far, in my opinion, are higher on my favorites list than Steins Gate is, but Steins Gate was amazing. It's one of those shows that it can definitely be slow, and it really didn't pick up a lot until the last 2 episodes of each season. But dude, once you got to that point and you saw how the entire show connected with itself, and how literally everything in the show is connected, it's just amazing. And it's like, it's so hard to wrap your head around, but like, it's not just one storyline. Like, there are so many things that connect, things that happen all the way at the end of the show. Like, it's just, everything connects. Everything connects. I'm not going to spoil anything, but like, everything that happens in the show connects. And you don't realize it till you're done watching the show, but like, it's amazing once you figure everything out. Slow Start is basically slow loop. What was the other one? Do it yourself, all that stuff. But honestly, it wasn't as good. I'm probably gonna give it B tier if I'm being completely honest. Although I probably would give it high B tier. I liked it a lot, but there are better cute girl shows out there, at least from the ones I've seen. Like, I definitely prefer Slow Loop, Do It Yourself, Eurocamp, and so on, over Slow Start. But it's still a solid. That's why I'm giving it B tier and not C tier. Angel Beats. Now, this is going to be a really biased pick because this is another one I watched, I think, almost 2 years ago. And I also watched it in like a day, and I flew through it, and I barely remember any of it. So from the faint bit I remember, I'm giving it a B tier. But I'm sorry, don't yell at me yet. I want to rewatch it one day because I don't think I really took it all in properly. And I think once I rewatch it, it's probably going to go up to at least A tier, if not S tier. I just don't think I was in the right mindset when I watched it, or I didn't take it all in, or what, because I barely remember anything from Angel Beats, unfortunately. And then we come to Toradora. Toradora I'm giving A tier. I feel like Toradora is just, at this day and age, like the classic rom-com. It's probably one of the most popular rom-coms out there. And I mean, it's not like it's the best one ever. It's just an all-around solid rom-com. Like, there's really not more to say about it. It's just A tier. Which, if you saw my video last week, or whenever I decide to upload this, I assume this will be uploaded the week after. You know that I'm absolutely in love with this show. I'm only 5 episodes into it yet, but oh my god, is it absolutely amazing. Like, I legitimately think, like I said, these are probably my top 3 favorites right now. Accounting maybe one more that has to come up yet, but I legitimately think this is probably going to be a top 3, if not at least a top 5, if not a top 3 favorite show for me once it's done airing. And that's not even an exaggeration. Like, it deserves S plus tier, 100%. Another one of those shows that my memory on it is fading a lot, and I don't remember much from it, which I think it's going to make me give it a B tier, although it definitely, I think, is an A or S tier show. Apart from the ending of the show, I don't remember almost anything that happened. And that leads me to believe if I don't remember much to what happened, then it probably wasn't a show that I was absolutely hooked on, or a show that I really loved. So I'm giving it B tier, although I do agree it probably should be A tier. I'm just going to be biased. Then we have Charlotte. This is an interesting one because this is another one of the many shows that I feel like could easily be S or A tier. If you've seen it, you know what I'm talking about, but it starts off like kind of almost like a slice of life show, but then like halfway through the show, you actually get into the actual story, and it actually had a really good story behind it. I'm kind of conflicted on where to put this, because it could definitely be low S tier. It definitely could be, but it could also really be high A tier. Looking at all the shows I have in A tier, and I feel like there are other shows in the A tier that probably could be in S tier too, so I'm putting it in A tier. Then we have Go Sick. This is going to be a hard one to rate because this is actually one that I'm only halfway through currently. It's actually something I'm currently watching. But I would say based off what I've seen so far, it's probably A or B tier. Only reason I'm putting it a bit lower is just because I feel like the overall style of it and the vibe of it is not my preferred style. So I think I'm going to give it a B tier at the moment, but I do feel like it probably will end up A tier. Only reason putting it that low is it just really isn't like my preferred type of show. I feel like I just tried it out because I wanted to try out something different. Because when you're looking at all this, you can definitely agree. I feel like that Ghost Sick is definitely a lot different than a lot of these. And then we come to Lycris Recoil. What was it? Daikorisu Dikoidu, something like that. Trying to do my best at speaking Japanese. I don't know. Ignore me. But yeah, this show is amazing. I mean, easily kind of like, easily like Dress Up Darling. Probably one of the best shows this year, easily. I don't know what else to really say about it. It's just amazing. You need to watch it. It's got an amazing mix of, like, I don't know. I don't know if I want to say slice of life stuff, but, just kind of like just casual character engagements. I don't know what I'm saying. But then it also has like really hype action scenes and stuff too. It's amazing. Please watch it. Which is another show that I think I started almost a month ago now, and I still am only 7 episodes into it. I've been slacking on it. I would honestly probably say it's a B tier show. I mean, it's another one of those, like, it's solid. I've enjoyed it, but it's nothing like that amazing or that like worth your time. Although it does actually have a kind of cool, like, nice story behind it about kind of like manga artists or light novel light novel authors and stuff. So I feel like this could be A. I feel like it is kind of biased because of how slow I'm going through the show. So we'll see. I probably will do tier lists from time to time. This is something that I feel like possibly could go up to A tier, but it's not going to go higher than A tier if it does. I only watched 2 seasons of My Hero Academia, and that was like over 2 years ago. So my memory on this show already is almost completely gone. And there's also like 3 and currently 4, if you count the current season airing, 4 seasons I have not watched yet. So I really don't feel like I'm anywhere close to having a recommendation on it. Recommendation, God, like, you know what I mean. I would predict if I watched the entire show, it would probably be A or B tier. Same for, like, I predict if I watch all of Chainsaw Man, it'll probably be S tier. Yeah. That's where I'm putting it for now. I'm sorry. Then we come to the last 2. We have Oregairu, or what was it, like, my teen romantic comedy is wrong as I expected, or something like that. Which, if you know me, it's going up here. When I was saying earlier how these 3 are probably my favorites, plus one more, that one more was this. This is another just show that I absolutely loved. Clearly, as you can see, I love slice of life, rom-coms, etc. This is another one of my absolute favorites. It's basically the same reasons as Sakura, so, like, I don't really have much to say about it on the spot. It's just amazing. It's probably honestly one of the best rom-coms out there. I feel like, and at least from the ones I've seen, obviously one of my favorites. And then we come to Kaguya. And I feel like it's fitting that this is last, because I have a lot to say about this. Now, I probably won't say much in this video. If you really want me to make a longer video, I can. Although, even if I did make a video about Kaguya, it'd probably be a really short video. Because I know for most people, that's an instant S+ tier. But for me, I'm going to give it an A tier. And I know I'm going to get a lot of hate for it, but I liked season 1 and 2. I don't want you guys to think I didn't, but I was not absolutely in love with season 1 and 2. Season 3, especially the Culture Festival arc, is what really made me like Kaguya. Because I absolutely loved the Culture Festival arc. But if you take away the Culture Festival arc, Kaguya is honestly probably like a low A, high B tier show for me. I don't know why. It's kind of the same reasons as Komi. Like, it kind of is like in the same tier as Komi if you get rid of the Culture Festival arc. That arc was a masterpiece arc, and that's why it's got to give it at least an A. But for some reason, I'm just one of the vast minority that I just couldn't get super into Kaguya. So I'm going to give it A, but it's probably low A tier. If you really want to hear me rant about it more, tell me I can make maybe like a 4-minute video about me just complaining about it. Not really, but like, you know what I mean. But yeah, I think that's gonna do it. I mean, this was really rushed. Obviously, I didn't want this video to drag out, even though it's probably still gonna be like a 20-minute video anyway. But yeah, I'm sure there's gonna be a lot of disagreements, so please leave them down below. I can try to do maybe a tier list like every month or two, maybe every time, you know, like 5 to 10 new shows show up on here or something, just to see if my things have changed. Unfortunately, I don't really watch a lot of seasonals. I only watch a few seasonals a season, so I can't really do seasonal rankings. I mean, if you, the only thing I could really do for seasonals is maybe if I reacted to like, I don't know, openings. I mean, I probably wouldn't do live reactions, but maybe like do them on my own and rank seasonal opening. I don't know. I just don't watch enough seasonals to really do seasonal rankings. So again, if you want more tier lists or stuff, feel free to let me know down below. I'll try to think of other things I could do, because I don't want to just do reviews on this channel. I want to try to do like other things too, whether it's tier lists or maybe even doing like anime quizzes. I don't want it to just be reviews, because I feel like that can get boring. I really want to try to mix it up, and this is one of my first ideas of something to do to mix it up. I also kind of have a concept of maybe maybe I go into my anime list or something. You know how they have the forums page, and kind of just see what people are saying on there. I think it could be entertaining, because sometimes people's, let's just say, takes on there are very controversial. So I feel like that could be entertaining. But I think that's going to be about it for today. I hope you enjoyed this, and, you know, always remember to like, subscribe, do all that stuff. Or, you know, if you didn't enjoy, don't. And hopefully I'll catch you in my next video then, whenever that may be. Hopefully for you guys, it's only a week or two. But who knows? I'll see everyone in the next video.